Something that I've been noticing is whenever I go into a situation with somebody and it's like confrontational, right? I'm very centered with myself. I'm very focused on my intention. I'm very focused on what I'm feeling. I'm very focused on, just myself, right? Previously, it wasn't this way at all. Previously, it was heart rate all the way up to the absolute maximum. Um, Jittery, right? And just energy all over the place. Not to mention getting completely, you know, um, consumed by the other person's or the other people's frames and energies, right? And this is part of healing from codependency. This is part of healing from everything that traumatized me. Bringing all of my energy back to myself and into my body, and really not focusing on what somebody else is thinking or feeling, right? And the reason why this is actually not as challenging as I previously thought it was or would be is because here's kind of my rule or criteria for it. As long as I'm not being an asshole, I really don't have anything to worry about. I'm just having a conversation with someone. I'm not responsible for how somebody else feels, as long as I'm not being an asshole. And this is something that I've really had to allow myself to sit with. Because previously, I felt very overly responsible, right? I was kind of in the, tension throughout all my body, tremors, you know, heart rate up, like everything, just unnecessary uh, turbulence in my body, unnecessary turbulence, and you know, I've just been realizing, like, the way that I approach people now, the way that I am with people is very different from how it previously was. I say what I'm thinking, I say how I feel, right? And I'm not attacking anyone. I'm not. I don't say anything that's hurtful. I just say what I'm thinking and how I feel, right? And I think it makes people feel uneasy. Based on my experiences, if you are I don't know if I should use the word island. Um that's probably not the best word to use for this. Let's use the word, if you are very much in your own frame and not getting consumed by somebody else's frame, and they want you to get consumed by their frame because they don't want to feel alone in their frame and their thoughts and their emotions, because a lot of people are like that. It's likely that they're going to say things to try to get you to step outside of yourself, right? To try to get you to do something. But for me personally, where I used to feel anxiety, I remember it. I do. I've been having situations happen recently where I'm like just completely calm. And that is because I am now setting boundaries, and because I am now realizing, oh, that's your shit, not mine. Right? And it's very liberating because previously I was just a I was a fucking nervous wreck. I was all just like and now I'm just like boundary. And I'm just like, oh, it feels so good to be here in my own frame, with myself, and I'm fine with that. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. I didn't know that this would. Now it's kind of like hard for me to say this because it's like. What I want to say is that I didn't know that this would happen for me. But it is. It's happening for me, and it's awesome. It's so cool to not get like paralyzed by anxiety in social situations when you're talking to someone and it all of a sudden turns into, something confrontational or an altercation or something like that. To just be totally relaxed in your own frame and recognize when someone's trying to pull you outside of yourself and then just be like, no. Right? Part of me used to feel like guilty for really taking myself back to myself, I think. Of course, because when you learn to be overly responsible for people, for like managing people's emotions and stuff, when you start to take yourself back, I think that there's a part of you, at least for my sake, in my own experiences, there's a part of me that's like, wait, hold on. Like it's trying to hold on to the familiarity, and the familiarity is, I am responsible for managing other people's emotions. It's like, oh, there you are. You're still there. You're still there. You are healing. You're going to be okay. You're going to wake up one day and no longer see yourself as this overly responsible codependent that you previously were. And as you totally integrate all of those parts, you're going to find yourself experiencing life drastically different than you previously did. And I'm just here for the ride. It's so exciting to be here. It really is. It's awesome. By the way, I have experienced some profoundly fucking strange things with people. If I didn't know what not having boundaries was before, I do now. I know what it means for a person to not have boundaries. It is also kind of like depressing to open your fucking eyes while you're healing from boundarylessness and realize that a majority of people out there do not have fucking boundaries. It is really fucking hard to center with that. It's really fucking hard to find a balance in that. Because as you heal, you start to see things differently, you start to feel differently, you start to like things differently or dislike things, right? You start to want things differently. And then you go out into society and you see that people just don't have boundaries. You try, right? You try. You're like, hey, and then you're like, yeah, goodbye. You know. Yeah, it's not easy. Healing is completely fucking wild. Yeah.